Okay, with Diana Densmore, Cardboard is the short film. Really interesting film. Time travel. One, the younger self meets the older self and kind of like is shocked by it. I think what thematically, to correct me if I'm wrong, this is a film about like learning to love yourself, which a lot of us have a hard time doing.
Exactly. That's 100% what it's about. Like kind of reparenting your younger self, loving the self that you're going to become, I guess, a little bit too. I
Yeah.
have a daughter now, and she has all these ideas about who she's going to be when she grows up. And I'm like, I don't want to squash anyone's dreams, but I'm also like, you're going to have some grace for yourself. Sometimes I say things to her like, she has so many ideas. I say, like, maybe that one's another one for another multiverse because you
Yeah.
can't do it all. And as an artist, I beat myself up a lot for not being able to like make every idea I have come true.
Well, I think that's from a creative standpoint. I think a lot of people in this industry have I like to have those because you never get exactly what you want. Maybe Spielberg is the only one ever, but
Yeah,
everybody else is like has never gotten exactly what they wanted out of their
exactly. Spielberg and Hitchcock. Those are
career.
the
Yeah, maybe
only
Hitchcock, but
yeah.
he kind of went down on a downslide too. He was kind of a jerk, but yeah, who knows?
Well, that's true. I was just thinking like how meticulously he planned his shots.
Oh, gotcha. No, I'm talking about
Yeah.
like he opportunity to create, opportunity
Oh,
to do what you want to do with your life, right?
well, that's for sure. Yeah, he definitely had more constraints, I think, than Spielberg does.
Yeah. But
Spielberg can do.
yeah, and then but usually like I think that I would like to go back to talk to my younger self. But I like this concept of like talk a younger person building a time machine to talk to her older self, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think it works. I was trying to hopefully have it work both ways, right? Like the older self is talking to the younger self and like reparenting her younger self
Yeah.
and
No,
the
but she
younger
makes
self.
the initial instant like she instigates it, I guess, the younger self.
Yeah, she does she like forays into the connection for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. So it seems like according to the blog interview that you knew the actress Alice Brine, and then so I'm assuming you casted her first, then you had to find a younger version for herself.
Basically, so I knew the actress Alice Prime from like a very long time ago. And then I have a daughter now who is blonde haired, blue eyed. You might recognize
Oh,
her from the film. And Alice was always like, "You got to put us in something together." I was like, "This kid doesn't want to be an actress." She was like, "No, you've got to make a movie for me and Octavia to be in together." And so I was like, "All right, let me like try to come up with something." And my therapist was talking to me a lot about like, reconnecting with your inner child. And I was like, "All right, what if these people could meet?" So it was sort of the fact that Alice had wanted me to make a movie where they played opposite each other. Maybe like she was her mom, or I don't know, like
yeah.
whatever the relationship is going to be. And I was like, well, you're going to be the same person. How's that? That'll be fun.
That's a really that was the seed of the idea, kind of like you having your daughter and then this actress and then wanting to make a film and then you kind of came up with this idea.
Yeah, I think that that's like the indie producer in me is like, okay, what constraints do I have to work with? Okay, I have these people, I have these locations. How can I make a story that I can connect with using the constraints that I have? That tends to be, I work backwards a lot just from a funding from a funding standpoint.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what? So then you kind of just sat down and wrote it and then kind of came up with the short.
Yeah, I sat down and wrote it maybe a year or two before we actually shot it. And then I sent it to a friend of mine, Rob Kotecki, who's a producer and director out in Los Angeles. And he gave me some notes and we went back and forth on it. And and then eventually we were like, okay, I think we have something we actually want to shoot. And then came the like basically the funding is all from like private investors of people that my husband knows and stuff that we luckily were able to talk to.
Oh,
And they
that's
were kind
cool.
of along for the ride from the beginning. They were like, "Oh, what movie are you guys making? This is crazy." Okay.
So who's the young boy in the film? The baby boy.
The baby boy is Alice's son. So
Oh,
the
okay,
actor's
gotcha.
son, which originally when I wrote it 2 years before, the baby boy was like a baby. Like I wrote it 2 years. I was like, okay, you'll have a baby. You'll be maybe dealing with some postpartum. And then by the time that we shot it, he was like a toddler and talking and stuff. And I was like, okay, we're just rewrite the script for this kid to be older.
Yeah, he's cute.
Yeah, he did a really good job. I was very amazed at his ability to like do the ADR and stuff and come in and his dad was like, say banana bread or say whatever. And he did a really, I thought, a really amazing job.
So you kind of
Yeah.
show what it's like to be a parent too, right? Or
Yeah.
like I like that shot in the bedroom where like it's like a king size bed, and then you move over to the boy, and then you kind of move back, and you see like the all the laundry, all the excess laundry that needs to be done.
Yes. Yes. This is my world that I, I don't know.
It never stops, right?
Never stops. It keeps growing for sure. Do you
How many
have
kids?
children?
Yeah. How
Yeah.
many kids do you have?
I just have the one and
Okay.
it's like plenty of laundry. I don't know
Yeah. It's
how people do more.
yeah. It just never it never ends. There's always something to do, right? So
Yeah,
it's
it can
always
get
something
really
to clean up.
overwhelming. I think for both partners, we only really showed one partner's perspective
Yeah.
in
Well,
this
let's be
film.
honest here. It's the woman. Generally speaking, gets more. Yeah. She organized. She's the one who's in charge, right? So
Yeah, I think when that situation falls apart, though, it's like I think that can be really stressful stressful on everybody
yeah.
in the household.
So then she meets her
Um,
younger self. She's old, like older, and then that kind of like I guess like maybe halfway through the film, there's that scene, right? And then she's surprised that her mom, like her or sorry, herself isn't herself, right?
yeah, yeah. She's definitely a little shocked to see herself, I guess, or to realize that she's herself.
Yeah. It is kind of trippy though. Like she's like talking to the boy who is her son, I guess, right?
Yeah. For sure. So then it's like in that time travel loop, it's like probably her son's name was this name because she met him as a child.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a little Back to the
so
Future-ish, I guess, right?
yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
assuming you've
Yeah,
seen that movie.
yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
we did talk about that moment where she like if she were to destroy the time machine, then she would like no longer exist because she wouldn't grow up to like, I don't know. Like the world would fall apart if she didn't go back to where she's originally from.
Yeah, you have to do it, right? You have to live, right?
Yeah. Or else, yeah, I don't know.
So, okay, so then like it really is about kind of like the domestic family environment, right? Like it's about kind of like being a mother, I guess, in
Mhm.
many ways, right? So I guess you said it's like was this therapeutic for you to make this film?
Um, I think it was therapeutic for sure. I think it surprised a lot of my family members, and they were like, "Whoa, are you like really struggling? Like, and should we be worried about you?" And I was thinking to myself, I feel like this is like what most moms go through, even if they don't fully like collapse. I think that there's a lot of overwhelm that gets like overlooked. I don't know. So. I think yeah, it was nice to also just make something again, to like step outside of that role of being wife and mother, to be like, oh, now I'm on
Yeah.
set and I'm like making a movie again. Like it had been a little while, so that
Well, what
was
was the
nice.
last time you made a film?
So we technically made a film the year before that, but it hadn't been finished. And then before, and it was very small, like extremely low budget, just like me and a camera person, basically. And before that, it was 8 years. So my daughter's 8. So like before my daughter was born, we made a bunch of movies. My sister and I out in LA. Then I had my kid, and then this is sort of like my like, okay, now I really have a crew and a decent budget and stuff. I can like pay everyone to eat. I mean,
Yeah.
decent budget. It's still really low budget.
And your husband supports you?
He is amazing. Yeah. I mean, I think he knew what he was getting into when he moved in with my sister and I in Los Angeles, and we like were painting one of the bedroom stripes for one of the films that we were like shooting in the house. And he was like, "What is going on?" And I was like, "We're just making movies in our house. Don't worry about it." And so, yeah, he likes it. I think he does data science. So I think he likes getting into the creative side, dipping his toe into the creative side of things.
Yeah. And then I guess you balance he balances you out too, right? So has perspective. Sometimes you can get into the minutia of this industry and kind of like lose yourself a little
For sure, for sure. It's good to have someone. I had before I got married, I had definitely dated people within the industry,
bit. Yeah.
and it was really intense for us to be like constantly in it. And this is like, oh, What are we going to talk about at dinner? We're not going to talk, I mean, sometimes we talk about movies, but not
Sure.
always.
Yeah.
It's not
But he's
always,
got perspective, right? So,
yeah. Hmm.
so a famous director once said that two directors can't be a couple. Did you agree with that?
Um, I think that two directors could be a couple if they both had really strong support systems outside of their home.
Yeah.
That's what, because I think that all creatives, but directors, directors, actors, they need a lot of support. That's what I I personally feel, and I get a lot of
Yeah.
support from my husband in a lot of ways. Um, and yeah, I think it's like two. I mean, I guess two actors get married all the time, but I don't know how they do that with their. I don't. Yeah, no, I don't know how two directors would be married to each other. I feel like it would
Yeah.
be difficult. I plan a lot of stuff for our family. I sort of vibe set, which is similar to being director, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
setting the vibe and setting the tone for a lot of stuff that goes on. I think it would be
So
hard to challenge each other on
this
that.
is a great location. Was this your home? I was curious where you shot it.
So that is our home.
Yeah.
Purchased the when we purchased the home, I was like, okay, I have so many film ideas that are gonna be shot. Like basically, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm buying this house to like live on a location because we use the like portion of the house, but then my next short film is gonna use a room that we didn't film in at all in cardboard. So it'll be like maybe there'll be a couple exterior shots that are the same, but then the interiors will be all different. So
Yeah. Gotcha. All right.
that
So
was
so tell
cool.
me about so you did like how many days was the shoot? Because it's all like located inside the house, right?
Yep, it's all located inside the house, and it was really nice that it is our house, so we didn't have to load in and load out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
All the stuff just stays there. We ended up doing. Oh, we had one day of like pre-shoots where we shot some of the stuff that was like projected, some of like flashbacky kind of stuff, and
Mhm.
then we had 4 days of shooting, and then we had one day of pickups with the daughter and just some like inserts and stuff. We didn't have to fly Alice back from Los Angeles a second time, partially because we had our editor be our DIT. So he was like kind of cutting the scenes as we shot
Yeah.
so that we could be like, oh shoot, we missed, like, can we get a close up of Alice doing this thing tomorrow? That was really helpful. So about 5 days total. Um, I think the biggest thing in scheduling was just like, what time period are we in? Because we'd be like, okay, let's shoot everything in the kitchen. And it's like, well, you can't do that if we have to like change over the time period. That was the
Yeah.
biggest scheduling conflict.
So, but she doesn't. Uh, she's like Doc Brown. She keeps the time machine, right?
Yeah, she keeps
Yeah.
the time machine. Like it's still in the basement under the tarp. She sort of maybe she has like selective amnesia about it. I don't know. Let's not ask too many questions. Not ask too many questions about the logistics.
No, but I like the idea of that. The daughter makes the mother better. Like the mother has the arc in the film, and she becomes a better person by meeting her younger self, right? I
Yeah,
like that idea where like the kid helps the adult, right?
for sure. I think definitely the tapping in and connecting with your inner child is going to help
Yeah,
any parent. There's like a lot less conflict when you're both kids together.
yeah.
Okay, we got to get out the door. Let's both be kids and get out the door together. It's a lot easier.
And I like the concept of dancing, where I was talking to somebody who runs like a dance studio, and they say that one of the issues is that like not everybody's going to be a professional dancer, right? Like that just doesn't that's not realistic, and but it's just people stop dancing at 18 because they just they happen to turn 18 and they just stop dancing, right? And it's
Yeah.
sort of like she teaches her mom, or sorry, I keep saying the mom, but she teaches
Teaches
herself,
herself. Yeah, she teaches herself or
you got to
reminds
keep dancing.
herself, whatever, her love of dancing. Yeah, she like brings that back out. I
Yeah,
think that when you say that, it's so interesting because also like when you're a kid, you ask someone, can you dance? And they're like, yeah, I can dance. And it's not, are you professionally trained as a dancer?
Yeah.
But when you're an adult, if you ask someone, can you dance? They're like, oh, no, I don't take dance classes or something like that. Like,
Yeah, yeah, no, there's
I
something
didn't
too,
have to, you
right?
could dance well. Or
Yeah.
just like,
But but then again, you go to a wedding and someone gets testing me too much to drink and you wish they didn't dance, right? But but no, but it's so true. It's like you just like you like you gotta just because you're an adult doesn't mean you can't dance, right?
yeah, for sure. Or whatever your dancing is. Just because you're an adult doesn't mean you can't make movies. Just because
Yeah.
you're an adult doesn't mean you can't do Lego. I don't know, whatever your childhood, go skipping rope or whatever you like to do it,
So
connect with.
find that inner child. Yeah, there's a lot of substance in this film. It's like mental health, right? Like it's sort of like parent overwhelm, like that mental health where you're not getting support wherever it is, and you're just like you're getting depressed. I guess what it is. That's what it is, right? You're like
Mhm.
call it what it is, right? You're getting depressed,
Very depressed. Yeah.
and you got to find that. It's like almost like it's like for me, it's almost like the dog that she never did the time machine. He doesn't exist. It's
Mm.
just in her imagination,
Yeah.
right?
I like it. I
Yeah,
feel like that's a great interpretation of it.
yeah,
I think there's an interesting thing I heard. I wish I could remember who said it. So it's not from me, but like depression is not the opposite of sadness. It's the opposite of expression. So if you're feeling depressed, you don't need to like have something make you happy. You need to figure out how to like express yourself. Like what is stuck in you that you're depressed and so you're not expressing. And so I feel like that's like an interesting thing when you think about dancing or creating or
yeah.
connecting with that inner child is how do you connect with that creative spark
And
inside?
there's something about the fear factor where like you're just scared to do it, right? When you're like depressed, like you just have so much doubt in you, right? And you just don't want to do it. You don't want the energy, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, you don't
But
have
you're
the
right.
energy, it's not gonna come out good anyway. No one's
Yeah,
gonna care about it anyway. Why bother? I don't know,
yeah.
there's so much going on there.
But it's almost like you got to fight your fears and just do it, I guess, right?
For sure, for sure.
But
That
yeah,
reminds me of that movie, The Babadook. Have you seen that one?
so what?
The Babadook. It's
No.
a horror movie. Oh, it's a really great horror film you should watch called The Babadook. And it's really about like wrestling with your fear or dealing with your fear. It's really
Yeah,
highly recommend.
easier said than done, right?
Yes, I mean, it's a very scary movie.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but the monsters just sort of
They
fear.
call it the
So.
gay icon movie. I looked it up.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah,
I just connected with the
yeah.
characters and the
So
fear and how they like wrestle with the fear. Um,
that's nuance. They're talking about bullet points, right? They sell it, but yeah.
oh, sure.
No, totally right. Okay, so what about post production? Did you do? How are you involved in post production?
So, I had a really great editor named August who's out of Chicago. And basically we talked a lot about it before we went into production. And then he was like I said on set doing DIT. So we kind of went through dailies and talked a little bit about like, oh, what are we missing and what could
Yeah,
go better here or there. And then he basically took it and ran with it in terms of editing. And I met with him like two or three times maybe before we had Picture Lock, and I worked with a great company called Texture House Sound and Visuals out of Kalamazoo, who did all the amazing like sound effects. Tony Antonio Mitchell there is just like he was phenomenal. And I was like, I don't know, this needs some like sound. And he sent it back to me, and I was like, this is what I love about filmmaking is when you collaborate with someone and they just
yeah,
make it better than you could have ever imagined it. So yeah, so that honestly, this is one of the films I've been least involved in post-production, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the sort of passing it off. The DP, he is learning DaVinci Resolve, so he was like, I want to do the color correction on it. And I was like, that's great because you already have an idea of the visual style that we've talked
yeah.
about and the colors and stuff. So I think that was like my post-production was just putting together a good team. I
Yeah, it
can
looks
put,
like you got a pretty good team there. Like it seems like you got a pretty good crew,
yeah.
and they all kind of like they all sleep over at your house or
We had in our house, we had producer and actress. We had a couple people at the house,
Yeah.
And then we had people in our town. There's a little hotel, so we put people up at the hotel just up the street, maybe 10 minutes away. So
Gotcha. And then your daughter, she's happy with the film?
she is happy with the film. Right after she was finished with filming it, she was like, I'm never going to be in a movie again. It's
Oh,
just
really?
back to one, back to one. We're going to do it one more time. Oh, it wasn't your fault. It was the camera's fault. Back
Yeah.
to
Oh, I
one.
like that. She
So
should
she
do like a
was good.
stand-up routine about that. I like that.
Yeah, she was not really down. Now she says she wants to make a movie again, and she has all these ideas for films, and is like, we're
Yeah.
gonna make this one, and then it's gonna be a play, and then a
She's
movie,
got
and
the
I'm
bug.
like, yeah,
Listen, acting is, it's there's a lot of technical elements to it, right? You got to make sure it's in focus and you got to make sure you're in your spot and like, you know,
yeah,
you got
yeah.
to, yeah. And so you obviously have to play the emotion too, right? In the scene.
Yeah. I was concerned a little bit that she would be like kind of clingy, like I need mom's attention,
Yeah.
but she like absolutely adored our costumer and our production design. Like, so she basically just like became friends with everybody on set. At one point, she was like holding on to the first AD's leg as he like walked her around the room.
Yeah.
So she got probably more attention than she gets normally. I didn't have to worry about her needing me. She was like, whatever, mom, let me
She's a
know
professional,
when I'm up. Yeah.
right? Well, it's amazing. Like I said, a lot of nuggets in your film, like a lot of like the themes that are good, great performances. So I hope it does well for yourself on the festival circuit.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. So far, we've had a pretty good reception at, we went to the Palm Springs LGBTQ festival and had a good reception there. Um, so yeah, me too. Actually, can I ask you a couple questions just as
After the podcast, for sure. Yeah. So
after
I
the
think we wrap
podcast?
up and
Okay.
yeah. So thank you for your time and let's talk again when you make your next film.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.